Okay, good afternoon and welcome to Yeshiva YouTube, the Table and Able, Shulchan Aruch Yomi. We're learning Hilchos Kriya Shema Siman Ayin Ches, number 78. Short Siman today, only one sif. Lucky day. Aleph, let's start. Hayakorev Eschil Me Raglav Shosin Al Birkov. You're reading Kriya Shema, and you can't hold your urine in, and you start peeing on your legs, in your underwear. Posek Ashichlo Mayim Echos Likros. You stop reading Kriya Shema until you finish urinating. Afilim nafal al begado yeshram tafech min al tefillah. Even like that's in your underwear, and we'll see in halacha something's considered wet when it's tofech min al tefillah. Meaning, if you were to take something else, let's say your finger, and press it on something wet, and there would actually be moisture, actually be a liquid on your finger that you can transfer to something else, not just wetness, but actual ability liquid to transfer to something else. So then it's considered wet, but since it's not, it's underwear and you're wearing pants on top, big though, since it's covered, you can still read Kriya Shema even though they're wet. Let's say they fell on the ground, you can't say Kriya Shema, continue saying Kriya Shema, as long as you're within Dalet Amos, it's a violation of Vayamach Hanecha Kodesh. Your tents have to be Kodesh, your Dalet Amos is your Makom. If you go out of Dalet Amos, you could say Kriya Shema. We're going to see Simon Pei Beis 82. We'll talk about this more. Mamtin ad shivlu b'karka. Or you can wait, even if it's in your Dalet Amos. If it's a dirt ground, it gets absorbed in the ground, so it's not there anymore. Even if you took the time that it took you to stop, so you stop saying Kriya Shema for, let's say, 3 minutes. It takes you the time it takes you to say Kriya Shema is 3 minutes, let's say. And you weren't able to say Kriya Shema for 3 minutes, either because you're urinating for a long time, or when it was on the ground, it was in Dalet Amos. You couldn't leave those Dalet Amos. Doesn't matter. You can still continue from where you were. You don't have to go back to the beginning. Haga, he says, in this case, where it's an onus, Mahamas onus, discussed this earlier in Simon Samechay in 65, that since it's an onus, so therefore you do have to be Chozel LaRosh. We calculate this based on how long it takes you personally to say Kriya Shema. So if you take, like me, to say Kriya Shema, it can take a minute. So therefore, if I was urinating for a minute, then I have to stop, I have to go back to the Rosh. If not. It's hard. I feel bad for those people that are urinating, can't hold their urine in. Can't hold your urine in. You wear a diaper. It's a suggestion. And technically, as long as you're wearing pants on top, usually your underwear not going to be tofech when it's feel. You have to urinate a lot in order to be that wet that whatever you touch will not only become wet but also make something else wet, transfer moisture to something else. So basically, you're okay pretty much. This actually happened once to me. I was in YU, 20 years old or something like that. I think I learned these halachas. I didn't learn the halachas. I learned Gemara Brachos. I'm not sure. And I don't know why. Yeah, I must have let out urine when I'm in the middle of Shemona Esrei or something like that. I think I went to the bathroom before Mincha and something like that. And then, sometimes like, you didn't finish going to the bathroom, like just some extra stuff comes out. It wasn't like a full urination. And I didn't know what to do, but I know the halacha is that if you're not sure if you made a mistake in Shemona Esrei, and right, you didn't say Yalav Yavo, you don't have to go back or not, whatever. You're allowed, even though you think it's a terrible thing to leave your place, your where you're standing for Shemona Esrei, you can actually leave that place, go to a posek and ask him a question. You can start talking in the middle. So I went all the way from the Beis Medrash. I went to the back of the building over there, Muss building. Muss building. I went to the back. I met Mordechai Willig there, and I asked him this question in the middle of my Shemona Esrei. Now here the halachas is not Kriya Shema, but when it comes to Shemona Esrei, we'll see later on in Hilchos Tefillah that it's actually more makel during Tefillah. You're in the middle, but I didn't know the halachas. I went to Rabbi Willig. He didn't know the halacha right away. He opened up a Gemara. Then he opened up the Rabbeinu Yonah in the back, started reading. Eventually he told me that I was okay. I went back down to Shemona Esrei. This is not the only time that I stopped. Like, I knew the halacha like this. I said, I was also once in Ner Yisrael. for winter break in YU. Uh, I didn't go skiing. I went to Ner Yisrael, to a former place to learn full time during winter break in YU, Ner Yisrael. That was being really from. And I was davening there, and I think it was in the middle of Berachos Kriya Shema. I wasn't sure if I said a bracha or not. So I decided, or maybe I was in Tefillah in Shemona Esrei. I don't know. I left the base medrash. I went to a different building to look for a posek, and then I kept on asking and talking to them about the halachas. Do I have to go back or not? And they're like yelling at me, like, how could you even leave? How could you leave? You can't interrupt your Berachos Kriya Shema. You can't interrupt your Shemona Esrei. I forgot what it was. They're yelling at me. I'm like, what do you mean? The halacha is you're allowed even in Shemona Esrei where you can't move. Or even if for you have a snake wrapped around your leg, you can't move. If you don't know the halacha, you're allowed to walk and talk. And they're yelling at me, chas v'shalom, chas v'shalom. But the halacha was right, like me. They wouldn't answer my question. So at least in YU, I will answer my question. He knew it was a legitimate situation. He treated it legitimately. In Eretz Yisrael, however, I think it wasn't one of the rabbanim in the yeshiva. It was more. I was davening in the high school building. I asked some of the high school rebbeim, so forgive them with high school rebbeim. I don't know who they were. But they're chas v'shalom, chas v'shalom, chas v'shalom. Get back, get back, get back, get back! Don't interrupt everybody. And I'm like, what do you mean? Allah is you're allowed to stop in Berachos Kriya Shema. You're allowed to stop and feel it. Ask a shaila. Then I talk in the middle. I hit chas v'shalom, chas v'shalom, chas v'shalom. Cancel culture, cancel culture, cancel culture. All right, if you're familiar with my shiur, you understand what I'm saying. Anyway, stay tuned for Ian Talina, and we'll talk more, analyze this halacha a little more. Not too much to analyze, but maybe I'll come up with something good for you. See you there. Bye.